Hi, Erwin. I have your dad's Yachtman here. Overall, the condition is excellent. It badly needs service, but it's completely original. Well, it's mostly original. I don't. It's. I'm curious about it. It all looks completely original, but this movement is a JDM movement. The watch is not a JDM. The watch is not. It isn't. It isn't. It's just really 1970. No, it's a North. It's not a Japanese home version, but that's a 21 jewel. See the red text? That's a 21 jewel home market version. It's a 21 jewel. Yeah, but it's got the red text. It's curious. It's running very, very super poorly. It desperately needs servicing. Come on, focus, focus, focus. You have nothing better to do. Focus. I mean, the movement looks great, but it's running just terrible. Whatever, when you washed this thing off with soap and water or whatever happened to it, the stuff that got in, I'm not sure what it is. That's the stuff, the little shiny marks on the dial is condensation of some kind of contaminant that was brought in with that water. It will move. Like it's not like the dial surface bubbling up, but it comes up. Let me tell you this, it comes off. I looked at the dial closely. Let's talk cosmetics. Okay. The, the watch is curious. It's curious. I am curious about this watch. It's definitely had work done on it. Definitely had work done on it. Part of the reason I know it's had work done on it is because this sweep end is bent. It's bent like a banana. Bent this way. The shiny marks on the dial, it's something that the water brought in and then deposited on the dial. I looked at it right here, and the marks, the high shiny marks are gone, but you can kind of still see the circles where they were. And there's a shiny, glossy material over all of the markers. If it were my watch, I would clean and service it, and I would take the and I do what I do sometimes with dials, which is I very, very, very gently clean them in a very specific way that doesn't damage them. It just gets rid of all the surface contaminants, and then we would see what is left. I'm not sure what we're going to find. Whatever the water, when you washed this thing off, the water that got sucked in, it brought something with it. And I'm not sure what. The watch needs service. This sweep hand, I'm not 100% sure on how I'm going to be able to deal with that. I can certainly straighten it. Actually, let's wait for that sweep to come around top, and then I'll reset it and look. The watch is generally nice. It's original. You've got a big full-length bracelet, which is great. It's an early version. Resist with the short hands. These August 1970. This originally would have had a two-part sweep. This is a really early one. Let's see where that. Yeah, see, that's fine. So, see, the sweep, it's bent like a banana. Somebody had fun with it. When I straighten this out again, it should hit the middle of that marker, just right there. Because it's going whoop, and if I take that and I straighten that hand, it'll sit right where it should. There's no aftermarket dial in the world that's going to look better than this original Resist dial. I do have other Resist dials here that are not, that are all going to have their challenges. I think the best one I have has been reloomed. So it's not like, it's just one of these things like you kept saying, well, hey, where can I get a replacement dial? And I'm like, well, you can't really get a replacement dial. They're very hard to get a hold of. You know, I've got one here. And this one's December 1970. This is very close to yours. But I don't know that it's better than yours. And I don't remember, did I reloom this one or is that original loom? I think that's one that I reloomed. Get it glowing here. It's not glowing. Gosh, is that original? Yeah, that's an original dial. Resist dial. So, I mean, we could talk about it, but I didn't think I had one that hadn't been reloomed. It would be really, really, really super duper expensive. Super duper expensive. It's definitely original. See? See the dial is marked on the back. OD. It's December 1970. We could talk about it. It would absolutely not be cheap at all, and I would have you trade in your old dial. We can talk more about that. I guess let's look and see how this dial is. I'm not going to get to servicing this watch. I know you're anxious, but this watch is not going to come up for service for months and months and months and months and months. I'll work it as quickly as I can, but there are limitations to what I can do for you. Okay, let's talk more later on.